Hey y'all, it's a rainy day today. You should smell my kitchen. Oh my goodness. My friend canned some green beans and brought them to us for Christmas. And I've got those in with carrots, potatoes, and a big onion. I made some deviled eggs. I've got some creamed corn made and some slaw. And this is something I've not done, but I want to learn. My best friend, and y'all will hear about her all the time. She was a very good cook. She made drop biscuits. Her grandchildren love them, especially Ashley, just in case you hear me. Anyway, we didn't get the recipe. As far as I know, nobody has the recipe for her drop biscuits. So I don't know her recipe, but I found one. I'm gonna start trying them. And this one calls for all-purpose flour, a cup of whole milk, which I didn't have whole milk, I had skim milk. It calls for baking powder and sea salt. So I am going to do this just right here with you watching. So it's 2 cups of all-purpose flour, spooned and leveled, and I'm gonna sift it. This is my granny's bowl. I call it her everything bowl, and she literally did everything in it. But I use it mainly for, sometimes I use it for washing dishes in my big farm sink, and sometimes most of the time I use it for bread. So 2 cups of all-purpose flour, spooned and leveled, 1/2 cup stick with 1/2 cup of cold unsalted butter. I'm reading the recipe if you want to know what I'm looking at. And you cut it into small pieces. 1 tablespoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. I don't have the kosher, but I have sea salt. It'll work fine. And a cup of whole milk. Now this suggests put it in the food processor, and I could do that, but I think it'll be just as good if I just work it like I do my biscuits. So I've got the oven preheated at 400, and I'm gonna put the camera on this and let y'all see how this is done, and we'll see how they turn out. Maybe they'll turn out good. And you'd think I could get the camera off with the remote, but I can't. Okay, I am going to, I forgot my measuring cup. I'm going to sift 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Now y'all, I don't use all-purpose flour and bread flour as much as I do self-rising. So what I do is I keep it in the freezer, just in the bag, just like that. I have a clothespin that goes on it. And I just get it out when I need it. Also, this is another tip while I'm doing this, is I take any flour that I buy and put it in the freezer for at least 24 hours. This sounds gross, but it is what it is. That will kill any mealworms or anything that has gotten in your flour. It will, it's just a safer thing to do. And then you can take it out and put it in your jars or whatever. Y'all know I love jars. Okay, I sifted that. I'm going to add, let's see, what am I going to add? I'm going to cut up the stick of butter, and I should already have that done. And this is a cold stick of butter. That is 1/2 cup of butter, cold butter, and I use salted. I just like salted butter. Some things call for the unsalted, and I do have that. But most of the time I use the salted because I just think it's better. Anything with salt or butter is good, right? Now this probably won't compare to my best friend's drop biscuits. And for those of y'all that don't know this, we lost her in November. And I think of her every day. I have great memories. There's not many people that have a 41-year friendship, and she will never be replaced. The Lord has sent me somebody to comfort me, a friend, a very close friend, and she knows we love each other, and I'm just blessed to have friends. I will be honest, I'm so blessed. But sometimes there's just one that comes along, and I've been blessed with several, but the Lord knew I would need my new friend. She's not really new now, but we've been friends quite a while. We know each other pretty good. He knew way before I did that I would need her. I thank the Lord for knowing that. So now I'm going to, I've got that cut up in small pieces. I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of baking powder. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of salt. Now it calls for kosher, and you know me, I use what I have. I have sea salt, and I might have kosher up there. So it tells you to put it in a, I found a rubber band, it's still on my arm. When I pick things up around the house, they go on my arm if they can. So you don't want to work this too much because you don't want the butter to get real warm, and your hands are going to warm this, but you want these little pieces to be like peas, the little pieces. As you do this, the baking powder and the salt mixes in, or you can mix that in first and then add the butter, however you want to do it. Mixing it with a food processor would be quicker and easier on your hands. I just didn't want to get it out. It's called lazy. Now I know this is nothing fancy, but this is something I want to learn to do. Just simple drop biscuits. There's so many recipes. Pioneer Woman has a recipe, but I didn't have all the stuff that she required, and I basically had this. So really want to get these pressed. You don't want any real big lumps. And as you can see, the food processor would be quicker. You could probably just zap it and have it done. I love to do things in my granny's bowl, so I think of her often. Okay, I'm gonna get a spoon. Okay, now I'm gonna pour the milk in here. I made a little well, and you just slowly mix it together. And you could do this with your hands too, and if I had been smart and put on gloves where I wouldn't have to wash my hands so much, I could have shown y'all this. Now this is, looks like it's gonna be a wet dough, and because I sifted it, I may have to add just a little more. Sometimes when you sift it, it makes a little less flour. So I'm probably gonna add just a little more flour to it. When you bake a cake and you sift the flour, you have to remeasure it because it won't be, the recipe won't be the same. Okay, I think that's not be it. Maybe just a little bit more. Even though I was following the recipe, I still do my own thing, you know. So now the thing about drop biscuits, the way I understand it, you do it with a spoon. You can do small biscuits or big biscuits just by the size of your spoon. And I think I told y'all I have my oven preheated to 300. I meant 400. What am I talking about? So I'm gonna do like a medium-sized spoon. And you just take your spoon and drop them. My best friend Vicky, she's an excellent cook, but her grandkids just love these, like I told you. And so she hardly ever made biscuits the way I do because they love these. And like I said, I don't even know if this would be close to her recipe, but I'm gonna try a few and see what we think about them. But all I'm doing is just taking a spoon. And if you're nervous about making homemade biscuits, this is a great recipe to try because you don't have to roll them or cut them. You just spoon them. So, if you're wondering what this is, I think that the brand name of some of them is Silpat. I think that is the brand name. Trying to fit one more. Yeah, I better not. But it keeps things from sticking on your cookie sheet. You don't have to wash it. You can rinse this off. And so I'm going to put these in. That looks a little powdery. I'm going to put these in, and I'm going to melt some butter to put on them when they come out. And then I'll show you what they look like. They look good, don't they? Y'all, I think they turned out good. I thought they would look more raggedy. But I am putting some melted butter, and I do use the real butter. I've told y'all many, many times. I'm putting some real butter on here. And that's what I put in them too, was real butter. And then I'm gonna let it cool just a minute, and I'm gonna show you the inside of one, and let's see how we did. Now again, this is something, if you're scared to try the regular homemade biscuits like the recipes I have on YouTube that I've showed on Facebook, this is a great one to start with, and I think they're gonna be good. Now, oh my goodness, don't those look good? Don't those look good? Let's see if I can get you. So good. Let's see. Good crusty bottom. Really, really look good. So let's see if I can go ahead and break one up. And just see whether they are hot. And they are flaky. Oh my goodness. You know what? I am gonna have some before Sweet Hunter comes home. I'm gonna fix me some. Fix me one. Oh my goodness, seriously, look how flaky. Well, I'm proud of them. I'll taste them and I'll let you know what I think. Okay, let's see. They're really good. They really are. So my supper is done. I've got green beans, carrots, potatoes, and onion in the crock pot. I've got creamed corn out of the freezer on the stove. I have slaw made in the refrigerator. And because it's just the two of us, I just made a few deviled eggs. And I'm working on a project today, and my friend came and she's doing some things with me to help me because I can't do everything. Hey, but I can cook drop biscuits. They're really good. They are really good. I mean, seriously. And you could add more butter. More butter would look good. One thing I've asked my mom to do is, if she gets a chance, is just to jot down some recipes. I have several handwritten recipes from my best friend Vicky, and I'll be cooking those and showing more to you as we go along. But a handwritten recipe would mean the world when somebody's gone. You can frame them and put them in your kitchen, but the most important thing is to cook them. Pictures are priceless. They're just priceless. So I make these in honor of Vicky. So I'm going to get busy on my other project that I'm working on. Y'all have a great day.